Welcome back. This could be a particularly difficult year for students, and not just potentially academically, but also emotionally, as this will be a very isolated year for many of them. And luckily, the NDSU Counseling Center is there to help those who need it. So join us now on our 702 Communications line, 702 Communications, keeping you connected. We've got Amber Bach-Gorman. She's the Assistant Director of the NDSU Counseling Center. Amber, welcome to the show and happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Chris.
It's great to have you here. I don't know if you saw recently, but the CDC put out some information that showed, I think it was like 25% of 18 to 34-year-olds, something like that, were seriously considering suicide, and some real mental health issues with what's been happening. So what are you hearing, and what are you guys going to do to help students this year?
Well, I think that anxiety and depression the college population is hit hard by those naturally, but this year we're really working to incorporate some new programming at the Counseling Center and partnering with our other entities on campus to be readily available, to connect with students and answer questions and just educate them about mental health. We're getting ready to launch a new technology called WellTrack, which is going to be on our webpage and will allow students to go in and kind of search struggle they may be having, whether it's stress or anxiety or depression, and work through some self-guided modules while they may be thinking about scheduling an appointment or contemplating scheduling an appointment. It's a way for them to kind of do some self-driven learning as well about their mental health.
I mean, I think back to being in college, it just seems like one of the biggest hurdles would be being able to say, okay, I've got a challenge here, I need to go see somebody. Do you find the same thing, and do you have any tips or ideas and suggesting, okay, hey, just pick up the phone and come see us?
I think that making that first phone call is always really hard, and there's a couple of different things that students can do to help them feel more comfortable. One of the things is they can go on our website and kind of look at who the staff are, get a sense of what are the services that we offer. We also have an online questionnaire that they can take anonymously, that once they complete it, it gets sent to one of our counselors and they respond to it given the information about how the student answers and makes recommendations, and can talk with the student about some tips that they can do or some strategies. And ultimately we'll let them know, we really think you should come in. And that's totally driven by the student. Something that's important that students, I think, will know is that the minute that they make that choice to seek help for themselves, what research tells us is that they immediately start to feel better. There's a little bit of a release about that pressure, because oftentimes when I say to them, what led you to decide to schedule this appointment? They'll say, well, I've been thinking about it for a really long time, but then my roommate came to the counseling center, or my roommate said maybe I should think about going, or I talked to my mom and my mom encouraged me. So it's also important to remember the role that family and friends play in encouraging people to seek support for their mental health, because oftentimes we can be in our own little vacuum and we're like, well, it's not this bad. Other people have other stresses that are worse. And really, as our support group says, it's okay to seek support for yourself. That's sometimes the little boost that someone needs to make the phone call.
Yeah, and I would assume on college campus it's something where, hey, I can just pick up the phone and come see somebody once or 10 times or sort of at what works for me, correct?
Absolutely. They can walk in. Students are able to walk in, and depending on how they present at walk-in, we maybe will see them right away. But they can, if they don't want to make a phone call, it's interesting because students now are less likely to make a phone call than they are to email or to just walk in. And although we don't do appointments by email, they can walk in and get set up for services. They can come for once. Just because you come in for counseling doesn't mean you're going to go to counseling the rest of your life. It may be kind of a one and done situation. You may come in and realize, it does feel good that for that 1 hour, somebody is devoted to listening to me and helping me strategize to reach the goals that I want to in my life. So oftentimes they may come in with, well, I'm only going to be here once, but then it's not atypical that they say, maybe I could schedule again for a couple of weeks.
I mean, that is just fantastic what you guys are doing. You're so right. Like they have this weird thing about calling people. So, hey, I'll just email, text, or something. So
Yeah.
I got about 20 seconds left. Anything else you want to share to wrap it up?
I would just say that, when in doubt, reach out to us, and that mental health is just as important as our physiological or our physical well-being. So don't ignore it. If you're feeling something amiss, by all means, come in and chat with us.
Yeah, it's amazing the stereotype around, finding kind of a mental coach versus a physical coach, and hopefully that will at some point in the future change. So thank you so much. That was great stuff. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks, Chris.
All right, stay with us. We got a lot more coming up right here on North Dakota Today.